So, hello, my friends of grade 9, and I have brought a new video for you. That is, we are just continuing the chapter Force and Laws of Motion, and this is part B, in which we are going to cover second law of motion. Now, before starting the second law of motion, that if you say that you should understand, you should know about the term that is momentum. What is momentum? Actually, the momentum definition, if you see on the screen, that it is you can see the product of mass and the velocity of any object, and that is known by small p. Whenever an object that is obviously, if there is an object, it will have some mass, and if it moves, if it is in motion, then will happen, it will acquire some velocity, and that will be what? Momentum. If any object which is moving, having some velocity because it is in motion, then means the object is acquiring some momentum. And this is vector quantity in units is kg meter per second. During that, if you say that some examples, if we just discuss before starting second law, during table tennis game a ball doesn't hurt but cricket ball does. A truck at rest doesn't gain attention, but if it moves, then it is noticeable. So in these two examples, you can say that a tennis and the you can say cricket ball, if suppose if they are moving with the same velocity, but table tennis is lighter in weight and cricket ball is as being a just leather ball, it will be heavier in mass. So what will happen? Because of more mass, velocity is same for both, but mass is more in cricket ball. That's what will acquiring more momentum. If it having more momentum, it may hurt the, you can say, more wherever it will hit the person. On the second hand, if you say that truck, if it is at rest, the same truck, if it is in motion, then you just notice. Otherwise, you it may not gain our attention because it is a moving truck. It is a huge vehicle, and it may, we have to be, be careful when the truck is there on the road, because as you know, it's a very heavy and all. So, why so? Now, in this case, the mass is same for both the situation because the truck is same, but the velocity is zero because it is at rest, and if it is moving, having some that velocity. So in second case, the momentum is more, and that's why the truck is noticeable. Change in momentum, it is defined as a difference between final momentum and initial momentum. Now momentum, I hope you understood, any object which is moving, that is having the momentum. If an object is moving initially, will have some initial velocity. After some time, if it gains final velocity v, then the according the momentum will also change, because initial momentum will be what? That will be mu, because u is initial velocity. What will the final momentum? That will be mv, because v is final velocity. And if you want to find the change, so you have to do final momentum minus initial momentum, that is mv minus mv. And as we have discussed earlier, also rate of change of momentum. What do you mean by rate of? Means you have to divide this quantity by time. So it will be mv minus mu divided by time. So this expression is what? That is rate of change of momentum. Now this rate of change of momentum, how is it equal to force? That what the statement by second law is given. So what is that? The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to applied force, and that will be taken in the same direction. So as we have discussed, that initial momentum is what? That is mu, because initial velocity is u, mass is m. Final momentum will be mv. V is final velocity, m is initial, you can say mass. What is a change in momentum? That is a subtraction of 2. It will be mv minus mu. And if you want to find the rate of change of momentum, it will be mv minus u upon t. And v minus u upon t. Achha, one more thing, you just check it out here. There's a proportionality sign. If you want to remove this proportionality sign, because whenever you use this formula in numericals, so you're not supposed to use this proportionality sign. You have to put the equal to sign. When you put equal to sign, then you have to introduce a constant k. And this constant weight depends on the different formulas and all, what the value of this proportionality constant will get. This is a proportionality constant which is introduced when you have removed the proportionality sign by equal to sign. So in this situation, you can just take as k equals to 1. So the formula will be mv minus u upon t. And v minus u upon t, it is what? It is acceleration by the definition. So f equal to ma or k, ma, k is a constant proportionality which you can take 1 also as per the situation. So this is what f equal to ma, the formula is that, and the units will be either you may call it as Newton or you may call it as kg for mass and acceleration meter per second square, right? So this is what the unit of force. 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg meter per second square. And how will you define it? Force is said to be 1 Newton when how much mass you are taking? You are taking 1 kg mass. And how much acceleration you are producing? That is 1 meter per second square. So if an object having 1 kg mass and producing an acceleration of 1 meter per second square, that is making 1 Newton force. Applications and Newton's law, that statement we have done, but how we can see this law in daily life? So when you stop the ball gradually, as I told you, जब आप cricket match खेलते हो या कोई भी match है, कुछ भी है, ball को आप stop करते हो, we need to apply less force. This is easy and safe. If you stop the ball suddenly, we need to apply more force because the velocity is more and momentum is more. The rate of change of momentum will be, because if it is taking stop the you can say ball suddenly, means time period is less. As time is less, the force said was the change in momentum upon time. Time and force are inversely proportional. So if you are taking less time, it will be more force. It may hurt you badly. If you are taking less more time, so force impact will be less. Similarly, in high jump, the surface is hard. Athletic body changes in very less time. And that's what will happen. The body may get hurt. But if the surface are soft, like cushion are there, sand is there, what will happen? It will take time to come into the rest position. And that's why the force will be smaller and which is quite safer. Now you think once karate place breaks a slab of ice with a single blow. How is it possible? Obviously practice requires that we are agree with that, but the technique is also there. The karate players break a slab of thing with a single blow because he or she has to move hand very fast. So to minimize the time, as the time will be smaller, what will happen? The force will be more, and the more force that will be enough to break the slab of ice. It will take more time, the force impact will be smaller, it may not able to to break that slab of ice. This is a technique also, the ray for the momentum. The second law is also used. The technique is also used by karate players. Now first law and second law, that both the laws are you people are familiar with them, but how will you deduce the first law from second law? What does the second law says? F equal to m, that we have done, right? Force equal to mass into acceleration. Now in case if force is 0, we are not applying any force or something like that, this force is 0, so ma will equal to be 0. Mass can't be 0, it's a scalar quantity. How can you just make mass 0? Body is existing, mass should not be 0. So what makes 0? Acceleration may be 0, force is 0, so acceleration will be 0, and both are, they are related to each other. So now one more formula we have done. Acceleration is what? V minus u upon t. The very first acceleration formula by definition we have done. So if you put a equal to 0 here, now just listen to me. Force is 0, that will make acceleration 0. If you're putting in this equation acceleration 0, what will happen? Then you just solve the equation. It will be a 0, that will be v minus u equal to 0, or v equal to u, means final velocity is equal to initial velocity. That is what the first law. If no force is applied, if frictional force is there, there is no force applied, the object will continue its same uniform velocity. Means initial and final velocity will be same if no force is acted on a frictionless surface. So how we started from second law and we have deduced the result of first law. Now let's see one example, one numerical. Like if you see that, how will you apply this formula F equal to ma in that? Very easy. What is the mass given? 500 gram. But don't forget to change the kilogram because SI units you need it. Initially, it was moving with 50 meter per second. Is initial velocity. Hits a target. If it hits a target, it will stop. The final velocity will be 0. Very good. What is the time? 0.01 second. So you have to find the force. Force is MA. Mass is given, that is 500 gram, that is 0.5 kg, but acceleration is not given. So we will find the acceleration by using which formula? V minus U upon D equal to acceleration. When you put the formula over here, and because initial velocity is more than final velocity, the answer is coming negative, because it is a you can say reverse force, that is negative sign is coming, but it's okay, it should be. And the answer is 2500 Newton in opposite direction is to be applied. So this is what how you people have to do. It's very easy. Only you have to use A equal to V minus U upon T, and then put in M equal to A, and the simple you use the unit and do the calculations, right? So that was all about second law of motion. And that thank you so much for watching the video. The first law of motion I made in first part. The second law of motion I just I have given you this video to you people, and very soon I will come with third video, the part C, and in which the third law of motion we will just cover it. So keep learning, keep supporting. Thank you so much, and we'll meet you soon with next video.